The following is a presentation of The Day.
Welcome to the roller coaster ride that is the Ledyard girls basketball team. 3 wins to open the season, then 2 losses, 3 straight wins, then 3 straight losses, and now 3 wins in 3 days. Kiara Curvin and Tally Williams can score. Claire Inyang is a dominant presence inside, and Coach Mike Morgan loves in-your-face defense with Monet Augment and Aaliyah Dantzler. The Colonels know to continue their win streak, they will have to beat the best. Bacon Academy is 13-2, with losses only to ranked E.O. Smith and Ram. Marissa Nudd is a dynamic player. Kara Shea can score. And seniors Ashley Lazat and Valerie Lutzy are tough, resilient, and know how to win. Earlier this season, they withstood a furious Ledyard rally to win at home in a contentious contest. How will they fare in front of the home Ledyard crowd? Can the Colonels continue the winning streak as the coaster climbs? Or will the Bobcats show that everything is better with Bacon? It's an ECC girls showdown between the Colonels and the Bobcats, and it's live on Game Day on theday.com. It's a Saturday evening showdown in the ECC as the host Ledyard Colonels invite the Bacon Academy Bobcats into the Judy Dow Standish Gymnasium, and we have all the action live for you on Game Day. Game Day is brought to you by Scient Federal Credit Union. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. Casey O'Neill, along with the coach, Chris Giusti. The sports doctor is out scouting the Pro Bowl. He's big into that, and we miss him, but we decided to up not only the analysis, but the dress. Thank you for bringing your A game, and, I'm the old sweater vest guy, but we love seeing the juice is loose here in Ledyard, so welcome.
Thank you, and, Casey, I've always had great respect for this Game Day broadcast. Been a part of a lot of great moments in the ECC, but this is right there at the top of the list. Just being a part of what you and Mike and the sports doctor and Peter have built here. Really the premier broadcast of high school sports in the state and probably in the Northeast. Just an honor for me to be here tonight.
Well, here at Game Day, we take it very seriously. If we're going to bring somebody in, they have to be credentialed. So we went right to Syracuse, the premier place for broadcasting in the nation, the top school, and we grabbed the Syracuse guy and said, listen, have you done Big East basketball? And then if you say yes, you get to come on to Game Day.
Yeah, funny story that I did graduate from Syracuse. I did have aspirations to be a broadcast journalist. Followed the team and ended up taking a detour into education, landed with Neil Kurland as an intern, and the last 21 years followed that road into coaching, but glad to be back where I thought I would be when I was in high school.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you, and we're excited about this one, of course, postponed from yesterday to today. The Bacon Academy, 13-2, undefeated in the league, taking on all comers. They've beaten New London, they've beaten this Ledyard team, they've beaten Fitch, so they've been through the league, still haven't lost in the ECC, but down a couple starters today, and this Ledyard team circled the calendar about this game a while back, and they're playing a lot better, so this should be an interesting matchup tonight.
Yeah, definitely 2 of the best teams in the league. Probably these 2 teams, along with New London, are the favorites to take down the Nets at the ECC tournament. So Ledyard's going to be pumped, and they got it going right now with the 3 wins in a row.
They had played 3 games in 3 days. They're probably very happy to have gotten the postponement yesterday, not only to give them a day off, but also Bacon is going to be without 2 starters in this game. So they're going to have to dig onto the bench, maybe go with some younger players, and they're going to have to put a lot onto the shoulders of Marissa Nudd. Nudd, who is the junior, I think it's safe to say if there's going to be someone who can carry the weight tonight, Nudd's the player that could do that.
Yeah, a rising star in this league, an inside-out player. Only a junior, and really fills it up can post up and get her points inside, but also can take you off the dribble. So could create mismatches, but tonight, as you mentioned, Casey, without one of the interior players for Bacon, she might have to play more down low and not be able to stretch the defense as much.
And we're going to see what Coach John Shea comes up with tonight. Of course, he's got the resource of when the gym's named after you, you know you're special. Dave Shea on the bench with his son John to coach Bacon tonight. We'll see how deep they go. We'll see who, kids getting playing time that don't typically get playing time. All of it is on the table tonight for Bacon without those two starters. And on the Ledyard side of things, they're going in the other direction. Coach Mike Morgan is starting to increase the number of people playing. He's starting to find a nice deep rotation. They go as many as 10 deep.
Yeah, really impressed watching the last few Ledyard games with the intensity that they bring off the bench. Talked to Coach Morgan earlier tonight, and he said we don't expect any drop-off when we make a substitution, and that's what makes a team really tough to beat.
And I think the story of the league for the most successful teams is who can play pressure defense. And you see it with New London. They live off of that pressure defense. Not surprisingly, Mike Morgan with New London roots, also a guy who believes in that pressure defense. And tonight, he's going to run guard after guard after guard at Bacon Academy. And, he knows they're short tonight. He knows they're without, some of their seniors. He's going to challenge those young players to step up into tonight's game. So let's take this opportunity to meet the players. We're going to keep it here because they're going to do intros first. I apologize out there. Speaking of Mike Morgan, we're going to give me the official juice grade on the attire of Mike Morgan.
Love how he's matching the tie to the pants and the shirt to the sneakers. A-.
An A-. So what takes that outfit from an A- to an A?
Definitely the jacket. That's one of the things that when you look around the landscape of coaching basketball, the tracksuit is in vogue, and I want to go back to the days when Chuck Daly was breaking out the $5,000 suits, and I want to see more of the sports jacket come on top of the dress shirt.
Well, we're going to give Mike the A-, the official juice ranking, and we'll see what he can do tonight in those sneakers, because he's one of those guys who likes to be up, moving around, so he's going to get his steps in tonight. Bacon's starting lineup has been announced, and as we expected, a freshman, Caitlin Novak, will be in the starting lineup, and I'm going to talk a little bit about her in a moment as we get the Ledyard starting lineup as well. And there's going to be, for Ledyard, you're going to see guard, 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 big. And that's really how they play.
Yeah, and talking to Coach, he said what he would like to see his team do a little bit better is take it to the rack. A lot of shooters on this team, and as we know, players have fallen in love with that three-point line, so Coach says what he really wants to see tonight is more of an approach to take the ball to the basket, and we'll see if they do that.
Well, my son AJ, who is a freshman at Bacon Academy, was at the game at Bacon the first time they played. Bacon got out to a big lead in that game, and Ledyard turned up the pressure, came back all the way back, got it down to single digits, and he said it was through the three ball that Ledyard was able to get back into it. So they do have a lot of shooters. That game was contentious. That game was high-spirited, and so Ledyard tonight coming into this one thinking definitely this is the game for a little bit of payback from that earlier loss. And with that, now let's meet the players for tonight's game.
Ashley Lazat, Colchester Elementary School.
Olivia Teller, Colchester Elementary School.
Grace Aldana, Irving School of Derby.
Emily Farino, Colchester Elementary School.
Ari Nair, Karen Cardinals Elementary School.
Valerie Letzi, Colchester Elementary School.
Caitlin Novak, CES.
Marissa Nudd, Colchester Elementary School.
Kara Shea, Karen Cardinals Elementary School.
Elizabeth Glover, Colchester Elementary School.
Emma Mancuso, Colchester Elementary. Veronica Smith, Colchester Elementary School.
Monet Ogman, RMS Elementary School.
Aaliyah Dancer, Mohegan Elementary School.
Sierra Brevard, Gallup School. Tally Williams, RMS Elementary School.
Adriana Hardison, Preston Veterans. Mecca Minyang, Ridgewood Elementary School, Port Neches, Texas.
Claire Inyang, Hattie Watts Elementary School, Morgan City, Louisiana.
Cassie Rice, GFS, JWL.
Kiara Curvan,
Gallup Hill Elementary.
Elizabeth Phillips, Ledyard Center School.
Nicole Walker, Gales Ferry Elementary, and J.W. Well.
Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. At Waterford Dental Health, we provide solutions to all of your dental needs. Your smile is our top priority. Visit us today at waterforddentalhealth.com and by Core Plus Credit Union. Love the home you're in? Well, borrow based on the finished value of your home before your renovations begin. Apply today at coreplus.org. So moments away from tip-off, and you're looking at the Bacon Academy Bobcats. They're starting 2 sophomores and a freshman today with 2 seniors out. One of those freshmen, number 30, Caitlin Novak. And, every year, as a coach with an incoming freshman class, you hear the whispers, and you've seen them in the middle school, and, who gets anointed. And Caitlin's parents are here tonight as well, and it's an exciting moment. She's played really well in her time, but she gets her first varsity start today. I coached her when she was a 6-year-old t-ball player in Little League, and she was an outstanding middle infielder. She actually played on some travel games with the boys. She's fearless. Her dad calls her Squeak or Squeaky. I called her Giggles von Squeakenhofer back in the day just to try to get her to loosen up on the Little League field. She's developed into an absolute, voracious player. She just lives and breathes this sport. So she's going to have her first start tonight on the road against a team who's, going to pressure you, who wants to come after you. As a coach, how do you, do you pump her up? Do you settle her down? What do you try to do with a freshman making their first start?
Oh, you absolutely pump her up, but on top of that, that's where you need your senior leader. That's where you need the point guard to say, whenever you're in trouble, look to me. I got you.
So Bacon will win the tip and have the first possession. You see Ledyard pressuring already. Novak gets it across court in the corner, and they dump down a little too hard for Nud. Turnover, and Ledyard will come the other way. Kick out. A little sloppy, but our 5-footer knocked down by Curvin. First basket of the game for the Colonels, and pressure on the ball. A little hesitation, baseline run, and a kick out. Novak in the corner. And a little baseline shot, no good by Farino. And out of the pack comes Tally Williams. Up ahead, wild shot, no good out of Curvin. And up ahead, there's numbers for Bacon. Layup no good, but there's Nud underneath. She can't finish. Another rebound, kick out to Nud, and she'll knock that one down all day.
Waterford had some success against Ledyard the other night, pushing the ball in transition and getting some easy baskets. Ledyard's got to get back on D.
Waterford, with those 2 great guards, has the ability to do that. And there's a long 3. Tally Williams from the first row of the bleachers knocks down a triple. Shea runs into it and loses the ball, but Novak grabs it. And off the shoe of a Ledyard player, it'll go out of bounds and stay Bacon ball. I was just saying, Waterford has those great guards with Chaponi and Lombardi. Great, again, senior leaders head up. So that transition, and of course Walker, who can run the floor. Be interesting to see if Bacon can do that. They might like to, but does the personnel match that?
Well, one of the things about Coach Shea is he likes to run. I mean, he doesn't run a lot of sets, but he does like to have his players push the ball. Whether he was coaching boys or girls, he does like that.
Good hands, but Shea comes out with it. Nudge, straightaway 3, short rim, and rebound to Dantzler. Williams with another long 3. This one's off the right side. Rebound goes off of Ledyard. It'll be Bacon ball.
And right off the bat, something that we talked about in the pregame, Ledyard may be settling for that deep 3. You see the first one go down. That was kind of a heat check there for Tally.
And that's more than, one of those things as a shooter, right? First one goes down, you can't wait to shoot that next one. maybe she was too close. Maybe she got to go back out to the bleachers like that first one.
Classic motion offense here from Bacon.
And they got it. There's Nudd. Got to settle it right now. John Shea not happy, feeling that there should be some calls, that it's very physical. But a nice left hand use, which Kara Shea on the baseline.
Bacon hanging tough.
Coach Shea, who is known to work a ref or two, is very upset right now. He wants some of the physical nature of the game to be called. In Yang, and that's going to be a walk. Your officials, Matt Green, Dan Henderson, and a timeout. Oh, no, we're going to get a warning. We're going to get a warning on Coach Shea.
Yeah, and you know, it's a fine line. I know what Coach Shea's thinking. I'm at a disadvantage athletically right now. I need the game to be called tight, but you don't want to put your team in a position where the other team gets free throws.
Trapped, Shea gives it up to Novak. Lutzy goes hard towards the basket and will get a touch foul. That's what Coach Shea has been looking for, that foul away from the play, and that's going to be on Augment. You know, I've coached multiple sports, and in basketball, one of the things that I marvel at is a coach's ability to walk the tightrope of working the ref and going too far and turning the ref against them, which is in basketball when things are non-stop, as we see Ledyard with a 2-on-1 and turning the ball over. You can get on a ref, but you have to be, as a coach, you have to know, can I get on this ref or do I need to back off this ref? And I've always used humor. I've always tried to, joke with the officials and sort of maybe make them like me a little bit, but sometimes you got to ride them and let them know. And that's a great look inside. Nudd can't finish. That was a good look from Shea. Ledyard's going to try to push. Good hands and a steal. Lutzy. Bounce past Nudd. That was well done, and she finishes at the rim. That's a beautiful look. Bobcats on the run.
There's your point guard. Lutzy's got to take over this game and settle him down.
Now, you were animated, but I thought you were, overall, you were pretty relaxed on the officials.
Well, compared to Danny Hurley, I'm a regular Neil Curlins.
It's a give and go, and we can get a walk there as Curvin couldn't get the handle on a nice look from Inyang. We're going to get our first subs into the ball game for Ledyard.
And this is where I think Ledyard really tips the scales and can make a move, not only in the league but in the state, by developing this bench. They've gotten some good minutes out of these players off the bench in recent games. Let's see if it continues.
Well, they have a freshman in the game, Hardison. And we're going to get a foul, I believe, on Hardison. Adriana Hardison, and then a sophomore, Sierra Brevard. And so that's the development, right? Freshman and a sophomore, meaningful minutes in an important game.
Yeah, and definitely when you have, experienced ball handlers that you can pair those young players with, it makes them easier. It makes it easier for them to get in the game and get their feet wet when they don't have to make a lot of decisions.
So the early impressions of Bacon is Nudd definitely trying to step up and take some things into her own hands. Novak not at all overwhelmed, but you can see the pressure of Ledyard also bothers them. There's a good look on the inbound and all the way to the basket. Nudd, but she couldn't get it to finish. She's got to knock those down.
Absolutely. So 3 fouls called on Ledyard since the warning was issued. I don't know if that's coincidence or not, Casey.
Swing, open 3. A little short, tough for the sophomore to come off the bench and shoot a 3. And now, I will say one of the COVID side effects of the basketball is with the gyms with fewer people, you can hear a lot more. And I think it's like when you're in the crowded room and the music goes off and everyone can hear you, you can hear everything the coaches say, and that adds to what the officials can hear as well.
Yeah, and it's definitely a disadvantage for coaches. Beautiful feed and finish. And coaches got to be more careful for sure.
Shea very comfortable with the left hand. That's the second time we've seen her score with that left. And Bacon with a 3-point lead here.
This zone has really bothered Ledyard here. When they haven't gotten a transition opportunity, they're a little bit unsettled on what to do.
Dump down to Inyang, and we're going to get Nud over the back. And that's the kind of thing she's going to have to be careful about because of all the players on the floor, she cannot get cheap fouls that might, render her on the bench for a period of time.
100%. She's got to play 30 minutes tonight if Bacon's going to get this one.
Little pull-up on the baseline is short. Inyang rips the rebound away, and I'm going to get, I believe, Novak on the weak side. And that's an important foul if it is, or excuse me, check that, it'll be against Farino. And that's important because Nud was right there, and that's what we just talked about, but instead it'll be on Farino.
Yeah, but I mean, we talked early in this game about Bacon being down 2 key players. I don't sense that the rest of the players got that memo yet.
No, and you said Coach Shea likes to run, and at first glance, it does not appear like playing 5 or 6 is going to take the foot off the throttle tonight either. He's going to run. He's going to push them to the limit. And you know what? You get Sunday off.
That's right.
Win this tonight, and we'll go get Sunday off. Lutzy with the rebound. Up ahead now. Novak. You see, Nud wants the basketball. There's Nud. She's calling for it in the paint. She gets it. Now Shea wants it in the paint. They're working that middle. Shea spins. Good defense inside by Ledyard, but Nud finds a way to the basket. Can't get 2 to go, and a strong rebound by Hardison. A good steal by Lutzy. I feel like Bacon is just missing shots around the basket right now.
Yeah, and Ledyard's kind of just giving the ball away. Unforced errors right now.
Inyang with a strong rebound, and I'll tell you, she's got every rebound. She's like that Dennis Rodman person who thinks every rebound belongs to her, and she goes after it. Nice spin and a beautiful move.
Like that.
Claire Inyang, that was nicely done.
Yeah, when you need a bucket, get it inside. Let's see what happens. Even if you miss it, maybe you get a foul. Get it into that experienced senior.
Shea, as we're down under 2 minutes, drives all the way to the basket and scoops it. I'll tell you what, Kara Shea has got 6 tonight. Big points for Bacon. Oh, wild shot by Bravar. Bravo, Bravar.
Well, after enduring that early pressure, Bacon has really settled down and seemed to be comfortable playing against that man-to-man.
Augman, Dantzler, and Nicole Walker will check in the game, so 3 subs. Novak will get a break, and checking in for her is going to be a freshman, Elizabeth Glover. Now, different skill set here. Glover, not the ball handler that Novak is, but very physical around the basket, and she's an excellent, excellent rebounder.
As long as they got number 13 out there, that's the only ball handler they need.
Dump down, Nud. And we're going to get a foul on the reach. Looks like they'll get that one on Hardison. But you can see Ledyard's not going to let Nud go uncontested.
Ledyard foul number 10, Adriana Hardison, her first.
Nud. And a travel by Farino. Nud telling the official that she's getting grabbed. Just wants her to keep an eye on the jersey grab. A subtle defensive play that I was fond of as a player myself. Under a minute, 1 point Bacon lead here at Ledyard. Dantzler all the way to the basket. Excuse me, Augman rather. Check that. Monet Augman all the way to the basket.
That's what Ledyard has to do more of. Shot fake, take it to the cup.
Nud misses the 15-footer, but gets to her own rebound. Shea with an open 3, no good. And Walker with a rebound for the Colonels. All the way to the basket, Augman. And you can see Ledyard getting the word from coach, attack, attack, attack. Back-to-back drives by Augman.
Yeah, one of the things that sometimes players are confused at when they face a zone is we have to pass it around and find the open jump shot. But really what you want to do is attack the gaps. And you find those gaps, and then the shots just become wide open. The key to playing a good zone is you got to close those gaps off. You got to have the length to close the gaps off and keep the passes going around the perimeter side to side. Ledyard decided they're going to take it into the paint.
Nice knocking both free throws down. Ledyard's going to go into some man pressure, and then they're going to back out of it. As Bacon, I would be shocked if they didn't go for the last shot here. 13-10 deficit. Lutzy with the basketball. Look for them to get Nudd in the high post. She's going to set a screen. Glover. 3 from the corner. Knocking it down. Lutzy for 3 at the buzzer. And we're tied at 13 after 1. Come on back for the second quarter. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. At Waterford Dental Health, we provide solutions to all of your dental needs. Your smile is our top priority. Visit us today at waterforddentalhealth.com and by Core Plus Credit Union. Love the home you're in? Well, borrow based on the finished value of your home before your renovations begin. Apply today at coreplus.org. So, down 3, looking for that last shot. Is there anything better than knocking down a triple? And there's your senior knocking down the 3 to tie it at 13. Valerie Lutzy. It's been interesting because since Coach Shea got a little vocal and then got the warning, the fouls have been a little bit more evenly distributed but tight on both sides. So, he was pretty up in arms, and official Dan Henderson gave him a very quick warning. I'm not used to seeing a warning. Did you ever get a warning in your years as a coach?
Not an official warning like I saw there, but I can't count how many warnings. Juice, quit it. And then I'm like, yes, sir. Lutzy's been impressive so far. She's really keeping this team in it.
It's a nice offensive set. Tally Williams shows she can shoot it from inside the three-point line as well.
And that's going to be that key, just getting into that soft center of the zone, driving the gaps. If they keep doing that, Bacon will have to adjust.
Shea wanted the 3 instead. Lutzy, and that's good defense out there by Williams, knocking it away. It'll stay Bacon ball. And that pass a little too high for Nudd. And, right now, Ledyard with a 2-point lead, and they haven't had a little breathing room yet. I'd be interesting to see if they go right back to that same set, trying to get Tally Williams free in the middle. That seemed to be a nice way to space out that zone.
Look for that gap. Beautiful.
Instead, taking it to the basket was Curvin, but same idea, right? Spread, they extended, got the zone extended a little bit, got that big gap in the middle, and attacked.
Yeah, find those gaps, attack, land on 2 in the middle, make a pass, or shoot it.
Up high, Curvin. Oh, great hands, Lutzy with the steal. And then right away, a bad pass, and Williams with the steal the other way, and she finishes. She picked the pocket of the freshman Glover. Nice look underneath. Farino to a cutting Nudd. Basket is good, and the foul. Farino to Nudd, and a chance for a 3-point play.
Yeah, one of the things that Coach Morgan was worried about is that, Bacon doesn't beat themselves. Now, they've made some bad passes so far that's given Ledyard a couple easy baskets, but on offense, they're not forcing any shots. They're moving the ball. They're trying to get the highest percentage shot, and just so impressed with Lutzy so far, just her court awareness and knowing what the best play to make is on each possession.
Well, on the previous steal, you got a senior, Tally Williams, who is, savvy, and she anticipated that the freshman Glover was going to want to get rid of the ball as soon as possible, right? Like, I want it gone, so she jumped the passing lane. That's just senior, freshman experience. You know, the senior wins that battle.
100%. That's why you want to try to keep your young players from having to handle the ball a lot in a game like this.
Ledyard with a 1-point lead. Pressuring on the ball. Dump down. Curve in. She loses the ball. Coach Morgan wanted a timeout. He didn't get it. And instead, Nudd going to reach and get fouled by Curvin. And I think Coach Morgan saw that things were getting a little sloppy.
That should be the penalty.
And it is. And that's Curvin's third, by the way, which is something to keep an eye on as well. Now, Ledyard not afraid to rotate a number of people, but Curvin is one of the guards that he likes to have on the floor.
Yeah, she's kind of the de facto point guard on a lot of possessions, but somebody will have to just slide into that role while she's on the bench.
Big free throw, and of course, it's always helpful when it's Nudd that gets fouled. You know, she's been at the line probably more than any player on this Bacon team, especially at the end of games. And if you have a big who can shoot free throws, I mean, that's great to be able to keep them on the floor. Long three, Dantzler, short, and got the roll. She deadened it on the back of the rim, and it sat and went down. Getting a little tricky, nice dump down, Nudd, double pressure, high off the glass. That was to not be denied right there, Marissa Nudd.
10 points for Marissa now, just tough underneath, not going to be denied, as you said, Casey.
That's half of Bacon's points. In the lane, basket is good, and that's a work of art by Monet Augman.
She's really come in and understood what Coach wants to do and attack the basket, attack these gaps, and get those points in the paint.
One more for Augman, side of the rim, no good. Beautiful box out and rebound by Novak. And you see Ledyard anticipating passes very well. All the way to the basket. Fouled is Williams, and she'll go to the line. Fouls on Shea. Tally Williams will shoot two. Second foul on Shea.
Turnovers right now hurting Bacon in transition. They need to be able to get it across half court and set up their offense so that they can get it down low or find the right shooter. Haven't been able to set up the last couple possessions.
Farino back into the ball game, replacing Nair. I think for what Coach Morgan has done is he's telling his players to anticipate those passes. Bacon likes to, doesn't like to dribble the ball through pressure. They like to pass the ball through pressure, which is ideally what you're going to do. But you have to see the pass, right? So I think they're jumping every passing lane, anticipating the pass. Now the question is, if Bacon can take one more dribble and then make the pass, there should be people open on the other side of things. Like right now, here are numbers if they can complete this. Instead, Inyang comes up with it. Right now, 5-point lead for Ledyard. This is danger time for Bacon. And almost another big play was Lutzy. She made the steal but knocked it out of bounds.
Yeah, they're going to have to find a way, Casey, to get the ball across half court and run some offense, get the ball inside. Ledyard making it frenetic right now.
Swinging it around the perimeter. Cross court, dangerous pass. Augman drives baseline and is fouled away. A little body out there by Farino, and we're going to get Glover back into the ball game.
And every time that Augman gets the ball, she's gone to the basket and, just has that mentality of, I'm going to attack the gaps, I'm going to attack the basket, and that's really helped Ledyard on offense in this quarter.
That's Farino's third, so she's going to probably sit the remainder of the half, which is 4 minutes and 53 seconds for Glover, the freshman, to play. And right there, Inyang outworked Glover, and we're going to get the officials conferring. Nicely done. It'll stay Ledyard basketball. That's a good piece of officiating. Of course, the Bacon parents do not agree with that call.
It was the right call.
Long three is going to be no good. Shea is there, and Nudd goes down hard, and we're going to get a foul.
So there you go. 2 possessions ago, Augman takes it to the basket, gets fouled against the zone. That possession, Ledyard settles for a 3, and foul on the rebounding action. 2 easy free throws for Nudd.
And it's a huge free throw on the front end of a 1-and-1. Down 5, you absolutely have to take advantage of these opportunities to cut into a lead.
Right on cue.
Yeah, so she decided to not hit the rim. Confident free throw. Second one equally as important. Get it back down to a 1-score game. And she does that. Novak's got to step into that. Had a chance for a steal. Augman, Inyang. Straightaway 3. Hardison, no good. Shea dribbles herself right into traffic. Throws it off of Dantzler, but you can't go that way. You can't dribble yourself into the corner. You got to know a trap's coming.
Yeah, that's perfect position to get a trap with the sideline and the baseline helping you out. But smart play by Shea to knock it off of the Ledyard player, so they retain possession.
Lutzy says, move away, I got this. She didn't want the screen. She can handle it. Now she gets one from Nudd. Look for Nudd to roll to the basket. And instead, you're going to get a travel against Lutzy.
And that's just an athletic defender moving her feet, getting into position, and forced a turnover.
Augman in the corner. Nothing there. Dantzler looking around. Back up top to Augman. 4 minutes here in the first half.
You hear Morgan saying, attack it, attack it.
A much more patient Ledyard possession.
I love that.
And we're going to get a walk on the reach-in. Yeah, something that I think is underrated. Everyone thinks setting screens against man, but people forget you can set screens against a zone, and that's a great example. Set a screen against the high person in the spread-out zone, and look at all the room she had.
Absolutely. And you heard Coach saying nothing. When they were moving it around the perimeter, they were much more patient, as you said.
Shea wanted a 3, instead swings it. Novak's first shot, and there you go. Caitlin Novak knocking down a 2.
Nice skip pass by Shea.
Long 3, Bravar. She's a shooter. Shea down the baseline in Glover, but knocked out of bounds. Oh, I thought that was off of Inyang. They're going to say that was off of Glover. She's not happy about that. That's a big turnover there now with a 4-point deficit. Ledyard with a chance to tack on a little bit more here. Bacon been swimming upstream here, unable to quite get it all the way back. That's good defense. Leslie likes to pressure the basketball.
Yeah, even though they're in the zone, they're extending it a little bit, trying to take advantage of these young guards for Ledyard.
High into the yin-yang, too hard. Glover all the way, and she's going to be fouled away from the basket. That's going to put the freshman at the line shooting a 1-and-1. That's big free throws here for Liz Glover.
Yeah, so far been impressed with these young Bacon players. A big moment here on GameDay.com with the one and only Casey O'Neill on the mic, and they're stepping up.
Well, for the freshmen, I saw them a couple of days ago at during the boys' freshman basketball game. My son plays. They were all in the stands, and I said, we're doing the game Saturday, and they go, oh, we know. I said, you know I'm going to talk about you, right? And they went, yeah. like I got stories, guys. They don't see me as the game day guy. They see me as AJ's dad or Coach Casey. Walker kicks it back up top. Long three, Hardison, no good. Walker with the rebound, that's going to be a little too strong. Ledyard doing a great job rebounding. And in the lane, Williams, savvy senior.
Yeah, whenever they get it there, good things happen.
6 points, the Ledyard lead. Nudd, open three. Good!
What a soft touch. 15 of the 26 points, Casey, for Marissa Nudd.
And she's got to do that to keep them in this, down those two starters. Dump down to Walker, and a big body, but a nice defensive job by Glover, standing her ground, and she draws the travel. And we're going to get a timeout. Bacon Academy with 1:43, and this timeout is brought to you by Groton City Utilities. As a leader in southeastern Connecticut, we provide essential electric, water, and other services at prices which reflect exceptional customer value and quality. We enhance and support the vitality and livability of the communities we serve. It's Groton City Utilities. 3-point Ledyard lead. They'll have the basketball here. Talk a little bit about the ebbs and flows that you've seen in this game and what you've liked from both teams.
Well, whenever Bacon can handle the pressure and get into their half-court offense, they're very unselfish. They're as advertised. It's a machine. They got new pieces in there. Well, those new pieces know their roles. They know what they have to do. They know who the person that's going to score the buckets is, and they've been moving the ball around and getting the ball to Marissa so that she can get some good looks at the basket. On the other side, Ledyard has created a lot of turnovers, but hasn't cashed in as much as they would have liked to, and I think they're kind of letting Bacon off the hook a little bit with these long threes. Anytime that they can get into the lane and get into gaps, they've really gotten anything they've wanted.
Yeah, I think especially as we've seen Bacon in that extended zone, every time they've attacked the soft middle, they've had easy shots, and a number of people have. The threes are fun. You know, they're a fun way to get into the game and or extend or come back. But I really think Ledyard has seen their best shots, like you said, inside the paint. Shea with a three. It's going to be off. Rebound by Inyang. May Inyang in the game.
Younger sister, freshman.
Claire is on the bench.
Oh, great call.
Oh, what a great look to the cutting Inyang. Augmin to Inyang. That was beautiful.
Monet has been great.
Lutzy for three. Got it.
Ice water.
Keeping them in it. Down two. Under a minute here in the first half. Baseline. And a kick.
Kick save. Really impressed with the Bacon substitutes, Casey. You know, we didn't know much about them coming in, and they have looked like varsity players.
Yeah, this is valuable minutes for Novak and even more so for Glover. Stepping up here, and turnover, it'll be Bacon ball. I love the vision of Monet Augmin. I mean, she is really looking for her teammates. And that pass, I don't think, unless you've been on a basketball court, that's a really difficult pass because you have to have the vision to see it, the strength to make it, and the timing to do it while it's, before it closes, because it closes very quickly, and that was perfect.
Absolutely.
Augmin hounding Novak, now straight on top, Nudd. Double teamed, Nudd, and we're gonna get a foul on Tally Williams, and that'll take two for Nudd as they're in the double bonus.
There you see the inside-out ability once again. She scored underneath with two girls draped over her about 3 minutes ago. Steps out and hits a soft three, nothing but net, and now able to put the ball on the deck, pick up a foul on the floor, goes to the line.
One of the things that makes Bacon so tough when they're at full strength is their normal starting center is Emma Mancuso, who's a senior, very talented volleyball player, basketball player. And when she's in the game, she's a big presence inside, and it allows Nudd to slide away from the basket. You saw that soft touch on the three and at the foul line. But you can see when Nudd's forced to go inside and play, she can do it. And that's crucial right now for Bacon as they've tied this at 31. Williams in the paint. Can't get it to go, and a good rebound by Nud. And we're going to get a great, I love that. Brevard stepped in, got into Lutzy. Lutzy turned, had nowhere to go with the ball.
Yeah, just one of the rare mistakes for Lutzy. Just didn't look before she put the ball on the floor.
Kick out, long three, Brevard, no good. Tipped out of bounds, and it'll be Bacon ball with 21 seconds remaining.
Bacon has a chance for the last shot here, Casey.
Novak will inbound. Lutzy. High screen from Novak. 13 seconds. Nud and Shea. Nud trying to get to the basket. 3 seconds. 2 at the buzzer. Basket is good. And the foul at the 1.3 remaining. And Nud will go to the line. 2-point lead.
Incredible. Once again, we all know, everybody in the gym, the announcers, the cameramen, we know who they want to take that last shot. And she found a way to get it up there and not only made the basket, but got the damage.
And that'll get us to the buzzer. We're at halftime, a 2-point Bacon Academy lead. And I've got Bacon head coach John Shea. Coach, 2-point lead on the road, a little understaffed, players down tonight. What'd you like in the first half?
I think the defense was good. The kids played with composure that we haven't really had, and having a freshman start and a couple sophomores, so we were really pleased with that half. It's only half over, but at least we didn't get blown out, which could have happened.
So they're going to come out in the second half, a lot of energy. They have a lot of people in and out of the game. What's your message to your kids coming into the second half, how to finish this one?
Well, we just got to keep playing hard and get out their shooters. They got great three-point shooters. And then on offense, we got to just get the ball out of our hands quicker and try to share the ball, be a little more unpredictable, and get the ball moving, cut down turnovers.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. Thank you very much. Improbable maybe 2-point lead for Bacon Academy as they head into the half. We've got some fantastic features here at halftime, and then we'll be back at the end of halftime. You've been watching Game Day live on theday.com.
My mom went to school here, and she also played for the team. And then my sister played here about 4 years ago, and she was also a captain of the team her senior year. And I really look up to her when I play here, and it's just great to continue the legacy.
A lot to live up to?
Yeah, it is. She definitely led her team when she was a senior, and I look up to how she plays. And she was also strong forward. So we're not in the same position because I'm point guard, but it's a lot to live up to.
She's a really good leader. She's plays really hard, has good floor sense, and we depend on her to do a lot. Scoring, setting up other people, and then her defensive intensity is always there, so we're just happy to have her, and she's a great senior captain.
My sister is living in Boston right now, and so she's not home. But after every game, she texts me or calls, and we always talk about the game and what I could have done better or what I did. And she's helped me a lot with my confidence on the court and just small things I can change because she watches all of my games. I watch with my mom and dad both all the tapes for the games, and so it's constant in the house, but I know there's no hard pressure to do more than I can handle.
Her dad's helped coach our summer league teams, Dom, so we really appreciate what they've done, and we got a lot of good parents in the system that are really dedicated to taking care of their kids as far as bringing them basketball, paying for AAU. So as a coach, you're pretty fortunate to have parents like that, and they're responsible for a lot of W's as well.
The Day is committed to giving our readers the best in sports coverage. Our Our staff dedicates itself to the in-depth stories, photos, columns, and video content our readers know and trust. Subscribe today to receive full access to all our coverage. theday.com/subscribe.
Hi, I'm Jordan Malloy. I go to Bacon Academy and I run year-round there, cross-country, indoor track, and outdoor track. I don't know, it's hard to pinpoint like certain memories, but I guess just all the meets I get to go to with my team and getting to see my family there cheering me on. And, well, I love the pasta parties, obviously. Those are a really great time to be able to bond with the team better. We get nervous before meets and just know that we're there for each other. And it's very motivating to be able to run with other people. And I'm just very grateful for them, and they're such kind and hardworking people, so. Well, sometimes it can be challenging to get out there every day and do a workout, but you know in the end it will pay off. And definitely some workouts can be a little bit daunting, but so as long as I have like my team there, and even if I'm running by myself, I just try and think about how it will benefit me in the future. And yeah, definitely running is very mental. Honestly, it might have even been like this year where I fully like realized that like the commitment I wanted to put into running. I mean, over the years, I have been running on a team since 7th grade, but I was a little bit more relaxed in middle school and even like earlier in high school. But I think now that I know in the future I want to continue running in college, I think that also really motivates me to want to improve myself. I committed to Stonehill College, and yeah, I'm hoping to run year-round there, and my major is probably, it's still kind of up in the air, but I think my major is going to be anthropology, and then I might minor in like environmental studies or botany or forestry or something to do with the environment and traveling, because that's what I want to do with my future. But yeah, I'm gonna be running for Stonehill.
Claire's our glue player. Without a glue player, it's pretty hard for a team to pretty much stick together. And I say that because she's a little bit of do everything. You know what I mean? She rebounds, she defends, she'll go against the best defender, she'll play help defense. At one point, she thought she could run the point guard.
So I was born in Georgia, and since then, I've lived in Virginia, Louisiana, Texas, and toured overseas in the Netherlands. I've had a lot of experiences, and it's really helped me become more of an adaptable person. I'm really able to adapt to change, because every 3 years, you know, I completely move from different stations, sometimes like not even in the US. So it's definitely a lot of adaptation for me, and it's really made me a stronger person overall.
I remember Claire, her 8th grade year coming into her freshman year, and then I see her play against Fitch her freshman year, and she goes for 16. I'll never forget that game, because that's when she got her nickname, which is Claire Buckets. Like, you'll hear us call Buckets, you'll hear some of us call her Buck, but that's really where she got her name. And she was just, from that point on, I think that day she earned the varsity level. Like, ever since then, she's been dressing. So our rule is, if you don't practice and you're a starter, you don't start that game. So Claire, being Claire, she committed to helping they do like a choir performance here. And I guess it's a really, really big event. I have never been, and maybe I should go next year. But Claire committed to helping them during the basketball season. And she stuck to that commitment, which meant she missed practices. Now, this is a girl who started every game last year, and we're coming into this year, and she breaks this news to me.
Well, I've always been a band kid. You know, since middle school, I played the flute and saxophone, soprano saxophone. I just wanted to give back to the program that has helped me grow as a, individual. And it was really cool to get to see, people that I was like together with as a freshman, to see how they've grown, and gotten those solo parts and become really well-developed individuals. And I just wanted to give back to the program that has helped make me better. I do feel really bad about missing practice, but I definitely made it up with sprints and other things.
obviously I wanted her in practice, but I knew that there was more to it than just her not being at our practice. It was about her really keeping a commitment and her being needed by more than one organization at the time. If someone was to look from the outside in, I would want Claire to kind of be the model of our student athlete.
All right, so you got musical talent, you speak multiple languages, and you even have a group of friends show up to your game because you're a cross-country star. Is there anything Claire Inyang can't do? Well, not so far, except maybe stop Marissa Nudd, because in the first half, Nudd has been relentless. You see her here at the end of the half, get to the basket, get the friendly roll, and that gave Bacon Academy a 2-point lead heading into halftime. And we are at halftime. Casey O'Neill along with the coach, Chris Chusty. Coach Shea, oh, gotta love Coach Shea's reaction. I mean, he's clearly happy about the play of his freshman, but you can see he had some genuine concerns tonight.
As would any of us, you got kids stepping on the court in a starting role or a larger role for the first time in a big game, GameDay.com, a team that's become one of the rival teams for your program. You haven't lost a game in the ECC, so there's a big bullseye on your back. It's always tougher to play as the hunted than as the hunter. So he definitely had some concerns, but he's very happy where he's at.
All things this year have been a little different. Obviously, during COVID, we used to get used to the occasional injury, right? A team might not be full strength because of an injury. We've gotten kind of used over the last 2 years with COVID that any given night rosters, lineups could look very different. For the most part, we've had good fortune in the ECC. However, the first time Bacon played New London did not have Nalise Dudley. And watching her against Waterford, she's really, right there with Melina Walker, with a Nudd. She's one of those versatile, can do everything kinds of players. So I'm very encouraged if Bacon can get back to full strength or close to full strength. New London, Bacon, Waterford at full strength, because when we saw them, they were without Mia Ciappone. I'd like to see, I know Fitch has had a run of really good basketball. The girls' tournament has a chance to be pretty close, a riveting girls' tournament, because I think if everyone's full strength, while Bacon and New London might be the best two, Ledyard, Waterford, teams like that can be very dangerous in the tournament. They go right to Nudd. And now Novak. Farino being pressured. And back up top to Nudd. One thing, fouls resetting here. Shea to the basket, can't get it to go, a little strong. Williams, great look ahead to Dantzler, but she can't handle it. The fouls resetting is an important thing to me, because I think early on we saw the fouls jack up, and it gave, when you have a team playing with only 5-6 people, every chance they can go to the line is a huge opportunity for them. And starting over now, here's where Ledyard can get back to that on-ball pressure without the penalty of a foul shot the other way. Hounding. Lutzy.
So Ledyard does like to switch screens on those high ball screens. They like to switch the defender so they can get a mismatch inside if they can find it.
Oh, beautiful step in and steal all the way to the basket and finishing Kiera Kervin. A little thievery. Screen away from the basket and no foul on John Shea's going to be apoplectic after that. 3 for Williams, back iron, rebound Shea. Now Nudd, Bacon's got numbers, 4 on 3.
Great pass.
Finds the cutter, basket is good, and the foul. Farino will shoot the bonus. Great look with numbers.
And if you didn't know who number 31 on Bacon was before tonight, I think we all know. Legitimate star in this league. Great pass to get the and one.
Third foul on Dantzler, and that's what we're talking about, the can do anything. I mentioned Nalise Dudley and I mentioned Melina Walker. When you've got players who can play around the basket but who can also have the court vision and bring the ball up, I mean, those triple threats are so dangerous. And Marissa Nudd has been the consummate team player this year. Tonight, when they've needed her to be the player, she has been.
I like to get the ball in Augman's hands right now. That's right. She just looks so poised with the ball.
Gets the screen. Nothing there. Much more patient, this Ledyard. Dump down,
Beautiful.
curve in. That's well done. That's a great offensive set from the Colonels.
Yeah, just a little duck in. Claire with the seal, and the little duck in into the center of the zone.
Farino drives, baseline, jump shot, no good. Numbers, up ahead is Augman. And we're gonna get a no basket and an offensive foul.
Interesting one there.
We're gonna call Tally Williams away from the ball. Talk a little bit about that foul. I know what the call was, but what did you see?
I mean, what Matt saw was that she sealed her off. I don't know if it would have affected the basket, but if he saw a seal, it's the right call.
Shea dumps down the nudge. She spins, keeps going. Basket is, just off the rim. Almost had it to go. Dan Henderson says, nope, that'll be 2, and she'll go to the line.
Once again, Marissa was able to establish post position. You've got to try to get some at least three-quarter defense or a full front defense on that and deny her the ball.
One thing that I like to do that Nudd won't allow you to do, a lot of people like to shut off the strong side, right? Not let her spin to her strong side. But if you see the position, she's already got you sealed on that hip. You can't take that away. So you got to get her early. She does such a great job with her body position.
Yeah, that's one of the things. If you're going to play man, beautiful layup. If you're going to play man, you got to find her at half court and meet her at the foul line. Don't let her set up down low. See,
and there's the position already. And I think we got away with one there. I think Inyang got away with a push. No call, and Nudd's going to tell the official I got shoved in the back.
But a little bit better. She got her a little bit below the foul line, but found her a little bit sooner than the last possession.
Augman drives, and it's going to be a walk, I believe, on Augman.
Right idea. Drag the pivot foot. Coach Shea couldn't ask for the foul situation to be any better.
Nudd demanding it, gets it, evades the double team, kicks out, wants it again, and a good step in, but Lutzy will take the 3 instead. Back iron, but she's going to follow it. Nice dump down, Novak, nice pass, Nudd, cut it to the basket, and the Bobcats are sizzling. That would be sizzling bacon, by the way, for anyone.
24 points. We still got 12 minutes to go.
Dangerous pass. Dump down Inyang. No good. Weak side rebound, Shea. Nice outlet pass. Nudd drives, spins. Oh, Marissa Nudd! What can't you do? Basket is good, and the foul, and the star is rising for Marissa Nudd.
Sometimes it's just your night. As a coach, we've coached against players like that who've come out and done things that are incredible, and right now Coach Morgan's got to summon up some kind of game plan to slow her down.
One more for Marissa Nudd. In and out, but look at the rebound and the putback from Lutzy. She can't get it, goes back after it again. And the foul is going to go against Ledyard. It's going to go against Inyang. And Bacon will have the ball. Relentless on the glass are the Bobcats.
Free throw box out. That drives the coach crazy. Missed free throw, and Bacon gets the offensive rebound.
Set piece, open look, Lutzy for 3, back iron, no good, and Inyang is there. Bacon uncharacteristically settling for a couple threes. And we're going to get a step-in block against Lutzy. But I'm a little surprised. That's been back-to-back threes. They've had so much success dumping it into Nudd, and instead going for a couple threes, kind of getting out of their game plan.
Ledyard's got to stay poised here. A lot of time left. Let's get a good shot on this possession.
Williams almost got the travel. Instead, she rebounded and got it back. Ogden wants it in the corner. There's a steal, but Lutzy knocked it to Brevard. Long three, no good. And Shea comes down with the loose ball. Hounded by Brevard. Nudge tries to set a screen, but Brevard evades it, and Shea's going to get fouled heading to the basket, as her and Brevard started under one basket and finished at the other basket, glued to each other's hip the entire way.
I think you see that the officials are going to call the block fouls on these dribble attacks to the basket. Ledyard needs to start doing a little bit more of that.
Nud gets position, can't finish, gets her own rebound, tips it back to herself, kicks it out. Novak with the shot, no good, strong, but look at the hustle by Farino. She finds Nud, and after all of that, it ends up in the hands of Ledyard, and a steal by Liz. Oh my God, it's wild over here, and instead it comes out to Ledyard.
Good take.
All the way to the basket, and good. Hardison, momentum shift back to Ledyard. Bacon had about 5 different opportunities. It turned into just like a greased pig down there, and instead the other direction. What a strong move by the freshman Hardison, and she'll be at the line with a chance to cut it to 1.
Yeah, just decided to go right at the defender in transition. The officials are calling it, so if you take it strong to the basket, you're going to get rewarded. Good decision by Hardison.
We get a timeout. Bacon Academy will take a timeout. This timeout is brought to you by Groton City Utilities. As a leader in southeastern Connecticut, we provide essential electric, water, and other services at prices which reflect exceptional customer value and quality. We enhance and support the vitality and livability of the communities we serve. Groton City Utilities. Casey O'Neill and Chris Giusti. Let's take a look at that last basket by Hardison. And you're right, attack the defender. She had Shea sort of a little bit out of position, didn't get her feet set, and she went right at her.
Yeah, for a freshman to know that I'm not going to settle for a little floater or pull up. I'm going to go right into the teeth of the defense, use a little body shield, throw it up with the offhand there. Beautiful deuce and damage.
Well, you know, we've been seeing sort of the emergence of the freshmen across both the boys and girls sides of things. On the boys' side of things, there are more talented freshmen that I can remember in quite some time. 3 at St. Bernard's, 2 at New London. They're scattered across the ECC. But tonight we're seeing, you know, a freshman in Caitlin Novak stepping for Bacon. Liz Glover on the other side. Hardison over in New London. Serenity Lancaster is a force already as a freshman. The freshmen are making themselves known, and I'm from a generation when freshmen never got a chance to play varsity. Instead, they're making an impact.
And more on the way. The middle school teams are as talented as I've seen in a long time.
Oh, the footwork by Nud, and I think she forgot which one she had down because she spun and then another spin. So that's either a Kevin McHale move or a travel. There's only one. And you're right about the middle school. I know some of the players coming up through New London and Norwich, and you know, in particular, in the middle schools teams are loaded. And I'm gonna bring up a subject in a moment that I know affected you directly. There's a long straightaway 3 side iron. The question becomes, how many of them stay? All the way to the basket, no good, but the block. So going to the line, Farino will shoot 2. You were directly affected by that. Unfortunately, you're a fabulous freshman, and by the time you're a sophomore or junior, people are in your ear saying, go to a prep school, reclassify, get that extra year. So it's hard enough to build a program in the public school level. But if you have an outstanding player, you're going to have to try to find a way to keep them there. Now, the New London freshmen were very, very vocal about the fact that they're going to stay. But I'm guessing most of the kids who ended up leaving thought they were going to stay too until that opportunity presented itself. And we've seen it on both the girls' side and the boys' side.
Yeah, I think it's a trickle-down effect, and the more prep schools are popping up and giving kids opportunity to play year-round, I think that's as big a part of it as anything else. Kids want to play year-round, and the Connecticut rules right now, the CIAC rules, don't allow for that.
Nudd tipped it instead. Williams, long three. Look at it. Strong rebound by Inyang. Mei Inyang, outstanding volleyball player. She went up like she was going to try to spike one that time and grab the rebound. And a dump down, no good. Lutzy steps in. Bacon's got numbers, 3-on-1. She's got Nudd. And I think that might have been an ill-advised choice by Lutzy, but it'll be Bacon ball underneath. I think you have to give that up to Nudd on the wing. Farino, Novak,
pass.
Long straightaway three, in and out. And Lutzy just cannot get one of those threes to go right now. Williams, now Ogden with the basketball. Long three for Williams, no good. Farino tips it to Novak. Up ahead, be careful here. Now Lutzy double teamed, needs some help.
Good hustle.
Glover has to come to that ball. Glover chasing Williams in the other direction.
Yep, go to the basket.
And she's gonna foul, and Williams is gonna go for two. That's a smart play by Tally Williams.
Yeah, I mean, it's Coach Morgan pulling his hair out. What hair is there? Go to the basket, we get to the free throw line.
Well, we've seen the seniors, right? We've seen Tally Williams, the senior, sort of knowing always where to be. She's very savvy, and she took it right to the basket. Game like this, a lot of we just talked about for all those freshmen that are coming in. Well, you need your senior leadership to take over in these games and settle things, and that's a move by Tally Williams, showing a little bit of savvy and poise, getting to the basket, a couple of free throws,
and already 7 team fouls for Ledyard. So Bacon would be wise to keep trying to get contact.
1 of 2 for Williams. Farino. Nudd wants the basketball, and then hands by Ogden, steals it from Farino. Williams comes out of the pack for Ledyard. Things getting a little unsettled again here.
Good
nice
pass.
Look underneath to Inyang, and she can't get it to go, but that foul's going to be on Farino, and that's going to be her 4th.
Great flash and great recognition. The one-handed zip pass, and once again, going to the free throw line, Casey, taking it to the basket, getting free throws, not settling for threes, going to the basket. You'll either get a bucket, free throws, or both.
Ogden with great vision again. She's been unbelievable with the ball, and I'm most impressed with her strength. The passes that she delivers are strong, and you have to have, like you said, some zip on that in order to get it there in time before the defense can close up. So Ogden very impressive with her vision and with her strength. Inyang was short on the first one, short on the second one. Novak, quick outlet, Nudd up ahead to Shea.
Great pass.
And Shea can't get it to go, but there's Nudd. She can't get that one to go. Tipped. Nudd wants it, and she's going to go to the line. You can't deny Marissa Nudd, and that's going to get overruled. Matt Green stepping in and saying she traveled. And the Bacon parents are not happy about that one. And Dan Henderson wants to talk it over. I think he's saying, I thought she got hit before the travel. We're going to see what they come up with out of this. This is where I don't envy officials. Very, very difficult. We're going to get a foul. So he's calling the foul first, before the travel. And he's saying it's his fault that he didn't get the whistle fast enough on the foul, so that Green saw the travel first. Now, and I'm going to say this, if I'm a coach, and you are one, as difficult as it might be to hear, when an official says to you, listen, this is what I saw, this is my call, my fault, I didn't get my whistle, I didn't blow the whistle fast enough, but it was there, I saw it, and they get together and they talk about it. It's hard to, argue that, right? That's what they're supposed to do, to get together. And if he's confident enough to say to his 2 other officials, this is what I saw, and then take responsibility for not getting the whistle out fast enough. Give Dan Henderson credit.
Absolutely. I would have liked to prevent the crowd from getting in an uproar that the officials got together before the original overrule and get together to discuss what they had, instead of saying, I'm going to overrule you and now we're going to go back.
Lutzy, left hand, gets it to go, and the Bobcats have a 6-point lead. We're at the end of 3, and the bacon is sizzling. Come on back, fourth quarter action. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. At Waterford Dental Health, we provide solutions to all of your dental needs. Your smile is our top priority. Visit us today at waterforddentalhealth.com and by Core Plus Credit Union. Love the home you're in? Well, borrow based on the finished value of your home before your renovations begin. Apply today at coreplus.org.
Ashley Lazat, Colchester.
Lead, and Coach John Shea has got to be thrilled with the way his Bobcats have been resilient here. And part of that is the senior leadership of Val Lutzy. And, left hand right at the buzzer, got it to go, up 6. It's been the coming out party in many ways for Marissa Nudd, though, as far as everyone around the league knows how talented she is. But she's been unselfish because they've had other players. Tonight they needed her to be a star, and not only has she put it on her shoulders, she's eclipsed it. What does she remind you of?
She reminds me of a player that's just taking a big game and making the most of it. Many of the players we've gone against in recent memory, I remember a guy by the name of Dev Ostrowski dropping like 45 on us in a big ECC tournament game.
And I remember he was a sophomore, and in that game I compared him to Chris Dunn. He went up at the rim and finished with his left hand, and I said when he's a senior he's going to dunk those. And then about 5 minutes later he did dunk it. And I said, okay, I guess he won't wait till he's a senior. And that's a bad choice that time. Curvin trying to do a little bit too much and try to dribble through traffic. Turnover. Now the question I have, is Bacon going to start milking some clock here, or are they going to continue to try to get it to Nudd and just, attack?
Well, Ledyard's in. It depends on what Ledyard's going to do on defense. They're in a zone now, so they might try to, but when you get an open layup opportunity, you're going to take it.
And a dump down, and there's a basket. Liz Glover, the freshman. Anytime that freshman can contribute, Novak's got some, Glover's got some. Those are bonus points for Bacon.
I'd like to see some kind of screen action, get some dribble penetration into the gaps. There's a nice reverse dribble floater.
Inyang up strong with the finish follow.
See, it creates something good, though, Casey. Even though she missed the shot, you get an offensive rebound opportunity.
There goes Nudd. Double teamed. Lutzy swings. 3-ball by Shea, in and out, and a great rebound. Inyang is a very impressive rebounder.
Dribble penetration grabs the defenders away from their box-out assignments. So when you get the dribble penetration and take that shot in the lane, the box-out assignment isn't as easy. When it's a three-point shot, everybody knows who they got to box out. It's an easier defensive rebound.
Dantzler for 3, no good, side rim, but there's Williams with the rebound. Nice dump down to Inyang. Oh, beautiful look to a cutting Curvin. Inyang to Curvin, and Ledyard's got it to 4.
Long rebound comes out right on cue. Ledyard gets an offensive rebound and makes the most of it.
Good look from Novak. Nudd, she's got a step, and she'll finish it.
30 points, Marissa Nudd.
He wants a switch. He wants Liz Glover over onto the side, and he wants Nudd in the middle. So they switch. Tally Williams. And now Augman. There's a step in. Lutzy had a chance. And Augman is down. And so we're going to take a moment here. We're going to send it away. We'll be back in a moment with fourth quarter action. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. At Waterford Dental Health, we provide solutions to all of your dental needs. Your smile is our top priority. Visit us today at waterforddentalhealth.com and by Core Plus Credit Union. Love the home you're in? Well, borrow based on the finished value of your home before your renovations begin. Apply today at coreplus.org. The Day is committed to giving our readers the best in sports coverage. Our staff dedicates itself to the in-depth stories, photos, columns, and video content our readers know and trust. Subscribe today to receive full access to all our coverage. theday.com/subscribe.
At The Day, our journalists are in your community, talking with business owners, attending town meetings, analyzing data, talking to government leaders, reporting on the issues that matter most to you. Since 1881, we have been serving our community and will continue to do so 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Never miss a day of news. Enjoy convenient home delivery right to your doorstep, 7 days a week. Subscribe at theday.com/membership.
5:36, 6-point Bacon Academy lead, and they're going to help Monet Augment off the floor, and we're going to wish her the best, and Bacon will have it with a 6-point lead. She seems like she's in better shape. It appears like it's a cramp. Now, a calf cramp can be as painful as anything in the world, but it's also much better. So hopefully that's all it was. We don't like to speculate, but we know that she's over being attended to right now, and it'll be Ledyard ball, not Bacon ball, and Brevard will inbound for the Colonels. Up top it goes Dantzler. Brevard, we saw her shoot some threes in the first half. Tally Williams swings it over. Brevard, Ledyard, by the way, has to not get three conscious here, down 6. It's only, only 6. Take it to the basket. There's a dump down. Williams backing in on Nud.
Beautiful
to
pass.
In-Yang, and she's going to get fouled by Shea. And I think Shea was saying was vertical. What was I supposed to do? But that's going to be the 4th on Shea.
Yeah, from your lips to the Ledyard offense's ears, Casey, they got the ball inside, got it to a proven senior who made the great pass. Now 2 free throws.
They got back into the game at Bacon by shooting the 3, and we saw earlier in the first half they maybe got a little 3 happy. They're at their best when they're, and that getting Williams, Curvin, Augment, driving and kicking to In-Yang has been 4 or 5 trips in a row. Good job by that time. We're going to see Farino check back into the game. She's got 4 for Bacon. So they're going to run with Farino with her 4. I'm guessing when she gets her 5th, Shea will come back in the game until she gets her 5th. If that were to happen, Coach Shea right now trying to play the percentages with his foul trouble. Lutzy hounded. There's Farino. Pressured away from the ball, away from the basket by Dantzler. And that's going to put Farino at the line. She'll shoot 1 and 1. Big free throw for the sophomore, Emily Farino.
Yeah, part of learning how to play this game, and as you get older and more experience playing varsity basketball, is learning that the referees don't officiate the game the same every night. And tonight, it has been a tight whistle. They're calling a lot of contact, and Ledyard has to recognize that and maybe sag off a little bit on defense, and on offense, try to draw some more contact.
Empty trip, Farino missed the front end. Brevard dumps down, Curvin, and into the hands of Novak. Novak's got to come back and get it. She does, now into the hands. Lutzy dumps down, Nud, crossover, and we're going to get a tie-up. Good hands by In-Yang. It'll stay Bacon ball.
A lot of time left, though. That's the good news for Ledyard. They are in foul trouble with the 19 fouls, but a lot of time left.
It also is much easier for certain players to avoid that 5th foul. Good look underneath. Glover can't get it. Farino with the rebound. kicks it out. Novak with a jumper short, follows it, gets her own rebound. Hounded, takes it again, in and out. Empty trips back-to-back for Bacon despite good looks and good opportunities. You know, it's hard for a big sometimes to avoid a foul because if the other team is taking it in, which is what Ledyard is right now, it will be tough to get, deny fouls down low. That's a good rebound by Farino. She's going to push. Step in by Brevard and the steal. Coming the other way. And a good no call. Step in by Lutzy. It'll be a Bacon ball. Coach Mike Morgan does not know, and so she's going to go consult. They're going to consult. The officials are. So I remember years ago, semifinal Prince Tech Waterford game. Mikey Bassetto was in foul trouble the whole game. And at one point he got 4. And Coach Bassett went to sub him out, and he ran over to the bench, and he explained, like, I got this. I can avoid this 5th foul. And Coach pulled him out of the game. Because it was more important. I mean, he left him in with 3 for a long time because Mikey said, I can do this. But he realized that with 4, there's no way he was I need you for the last, for the stretch run. But it's also recognizing, it's almost like in baseball. Sometimes the 9th inning isn't the most important inning. You need to quell a rally in the 6th. There's 4 minutes left, but if right now is the time that you think you need to stabilize it, then you got to put your guys with 4 out there and say, I got to roll it because if I wait for 2 minutes, it might not be a game anymore with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself, Casey. It depends on the situation, and that's where, you got to know your team. And if you got a senior, then hopefully that message gets across a lot easier than when it's a younger player.
Ledyard's going to pressure. Novak inbounds to Shea. Shea's going to be hounded down there. That's Augman. And it's going to be just a knocked out of bounds by Dantzler. By Dantzler. Augman is walking off the calf cramp. Novak will inbound again. Look at Nudd already setting up for position. Shea.
Good back cut.
Cutter. Can't get it. Kick out. Swing. Farino. No good. Look at Nudd hustle after the rebound. And ball's loose. Shea goes down hard. Coming the other direction. All the way to the basket is Curvin. And it's a 2-point Bacon lead. Ledyard cutting it in and cutting it quick.
Gotta get Nudd a touch here. Overplay.
Lutzy. No good. There's Nudd. Back to Lutzy. Like you said, Nudd's got to get a possession. She's got to get a touch there. Under 3 minutes. Shea. Nudd wanted the screen and roll. Lutzy comes and takes it away. Farino, we're running a little weave, taking a little clock away here too. Shea pressured. Dump down and a tip in by Inyang. Up ahead it goes. Curvin. And a behind block by Lutzy. She got a piece. No call. And a steal by Brevard, and she'll shoot 2, and that's going to be the 5th on Farino. And I thought Brevard ran through her, but they said she had the path to the ball. So that's a big turn of events because, A, Farino has fouled out of the game, and on the other side of things, Brevard's going to go to the line and shoot 2 with a chance to tie this thing up.
Brevard's been a spark plug here for Coach Morgan in the 4th quarter. She doesn't seem tired. We see some huffing and puffing from a lot of players right now, getting down into those championship minutes, and fatigue is setting in, but Brevard has been a spark plug for sure.
So right now, Bacon has 2 freshmen on the floor and a sophomore with 4 fouls. This is not the lineup that, Coach Shea thought would be finishing this game, especially in a 2-point game. Brevard misses the first, but this is going to be it. And if Shea gets her 5th, there's going to be someone else getting into this game. So win, lose, there's wins and there's learns, there's lessons. Bacon's learning about itself tonight one way or the other.
Yeah.
Second one no good, but Inyang out hustles everyone for the rebound and then It'll be on the floor. Possession arrow will favor Ledyard.
And to that point, Casey, only 4 points for Bacon this quarter. You wonder how much fatigue is setting in with some of these younger players, and Nudd has been working so hard. You wonder how much of a factor that will be.
Up top, Curvin drives, floats, no good, tips, Williams. Right spot, right time, and we have a brand new ball game. 50-50 with 2 minutes and change.
There she is again, Brevard pestering Lutzy.
We're gonna get a timeout. Bacon Academy, a full timeout for John Shea with 2 minutes remaining in the game in a 50-50 tie. This timeout brought to you by Groton City Utilities, providing essential electric, water, and other services at prices which reflect exceptional customer value and quality. Groton City Utilities. Casey O'Neill along with the coach, Chris Giusti, and Juice. It's been as advertised. There has been some, ebbs and flows to this thing, the roller coaster up and down. There is literally no result right now that would surprise me. 50-50, both teams in the bonus. Bacon about to go into the double bonus. What is John Shea, in your mind, what is the message, if you were John Shea, what's the message you're giving the Bacon girls right now?
Well, number one, you got to take care of the ball. With 9 team fouls for Ledyard, you got to take care of the ball, and you got to make an action that produces a chance to get fouled. You got to have an action that produces a chance to get fouled. So you got to have a drive to the basket, a shot. You can't turn the ball over. And then on defense, you got to box out. The 50-50 balls, you got to dig down deep. The Bacon girls have to be a little bit more tired. Coach Morgan's used his bench more liberally than Coach Shea because he has the benefit of that. So you just got to dig down deep and get those rebounds on defense. On the other side, I think Coach Morgan likes where he's standing. Just don't foul. Don't pick up a cheap one here.
Brevard has been so tough. They got Nudd, and that's the second time In-Yang has stepped in. And they're going to foul. Nope, they're going to get the travel first. I think that's a good call. And we're going to get another overrule here, I think. Let's let them consult. I think we're going to now get an overrule foul.
It's a tough one. It was a bang-bang again. It looked like there might have been contact before the travel. So we'll see what the officials come up with. But good job by Ledyard not fouling there. You just don't want to pick up a nickel dimer, as Coach Raftery always said, and put Bacon on the line.
In-Yang has done an amazing job reaching in and knocking the interior pass to Nudd. The last couple of possessions, that's been her approach. Rather than taking and letting Nudd have the ball, she's been reaching in. They're going to keep the travel call. And now they're saying, wait a minute, nope, now they're overruling it. Yep, now they're overruling it and saying, but if it's a foul, it should be a one-on-one. If it's a foul on Lutzy, then it needs to be a one-on-one. Good luck remembering who the foul was on.
Brevard.
Was it on Brevard or was it on In-Yang?
Brevard had the ball in her hands.
So Brevard at the line. Big free throw here, tie ball game. And Glover has the assignment on In-Yang on the other side. And if I were Bacon, I would switch them. I think that's a very tough assignment. In-Yang is,
agreed.
I would get Nudd over on In-Yang.
But these Bacon players have stepped up.
First one up from Brevard. In and out. And there's Glover with good position. Gets it away from In-Yang. Lutzy. No foul away from the ball. They're letting him play. Lutzy gets fouled instead at the basket, and she'll shoot two. So give Valerie Lutzy credit. She was getting pounded, I think, going down the sideline, and she just stayed with it.
That was an incredible feat of keeping her balance after getting bumped towards the sidelines. Not only didn't travel, didn't go out of bounds, continued and drove the baseline.
Knocked down the first one. Now, an important foul on Ledyard. That's on In-Yang. That's her fourth, which, since she's defending Nudd and playing in the post on the other side, that's something to keep an eye on. 1:40 left they're going to need her, especially rebounding the basketball. Huge free throws as Lutzy knocks them both down. Bacon wants to trap, and we're going to get a timeout from Ledyard. Mike Morgan saw that one going astray quickly.
Coach Shea likes to do that. All of a sudden, he'll throw that either that three-quarter 1-3-1 or that diamond three-quarter pressure. It surprises you, and Coach Morgan was smart to get the timeout so he could set something up so that no foolish turnovers were made.
Yeah, I mean, timing is everything, especially when it comes to pressure. It's not always about, doing it all game. Sometimes it's just a strategic dose of pressure, sort of like when Rocky decided to go southpaw against Clubber Lang and saved it, saved it for that southpaw moment. So, right now, 2-point lead. Ledyard's got the ball. Bacon's got foul trouble. You see Farino's already out of the game. Shea's got 4. On the other side of things, Inyang's got 4 for Ledyard. And Augman out with that, the calf cramp, so she hasn't gotten back in. So both teams, a little nicked. I'm sure if I told you a week ago, if I said, hey, Coach Shea, 2-point game at Ledyard, 1:36 on the clock, no Mancuso, no Lazat, and no Farino on the floor, he'd go, huh? We're going to get blown out. But he's done a great job with this group, and these are the storylines I love, when young players, get the opportunity and step up. Like, as the sports doctor would say, no one's a freshman anymore. Williams looking for Curvin. Swings instead to Brevard. Bacon extending that D. There's an open look for Dantzler for 3. Back iron, no good. And Lutzy pulls the rebound down.
Don't foul, Claire.
Shea, and she's going to walk. Good step in. Brevard has done that about 5 different times tonight. She is so good at getting just close enough to be in your way.
Yeah, she's been the spark plug in this fourth quarter. And now Ledyard has to find a way to get a shot up. I like that high ball screen in the center of the 2-3 zone, right there.
Dump down to Inyang. Back to Curvin. A kick out. Brevard didn't want it. Dantzler, pump fake, step in for 2. No good. Glover with a strong rebound. And she's going to be fouled by Brevard. And that's going to put Liz Glover at the line to shoot 2 at the other end. The freshman with the biggest free throws of her career so far.
Yeah, and depending on what happens here, Ledyard still has a lot of time. There should be no panic. I like that high ball screen that they did a couple possessions ago. Drive it into the center, get a shot up, and then chase for an offensive rebound. Got to get a shot up that hits the rim and gives you a chance at an offensive rebound.
First one for Glover, high arcer. Knocks it down. You see the excitement from Novak and Nudd, and that's a big one because now it's a one-possession game, but it's at the edge, right? A three-pointer. Doesn't beat you. One more for Novak, and this would be huge, for Glover to make it a 2-possession. And she does. 4-point lead, 2-possession game. Timeout Ledyard. 2 huge free throws for the freshman, Liz Glover. 56-8. If you're Coach Mike Morgan, Again, I wouldn't go 3 happy here. Run that same set. There's a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of time. That, so much could happen. First-year coach and Mark Jones led NFA team. 27 seconds left. We're down 7 in the state semifinals against Weaver, and we were able to make up the deficit. So in basketball, 56.8 is a long time. We could have 15 more points on the board in 56.8. You can't jack the 3. I want to see something into the lane, get something off the rim, and crash the boards.
Well, 3 factors that I think, to consider. One is that both teams are in the bonus. So you got a potential for a lot of free throws. That makes 57 seconds extend out to a much longer period of time. Number 2, the 3-point, the presence of the 3-pointer, if you start getting a little closer, that can get you back into things. And so between the 3-pointer, the fact that they're both in the double bonus, in the bonus and the double bonus, and then the extra factor here, that little bit of factor is that the pressure tends to create fouls and opportunities, and both teams are going to be, I think, throwing a little pressure. Brevard steps through. Williams drives, great pass, great look. Tally Williams finishes, and it's a 2-point game.
Bavara's been sensational, Casey.
Shea's in a dangerous spot there. Dantzler comes out to meet her. Novak.
No foul.
Up to Nudd, back to Novak. Back to Shea. And a timeout. Bacon Academy with 26 seconds remaining and a 2-point lead and the ball. And this timeout is brought to you by Groton City Utilities. They enhance and support the vitality and livability of the communities they serve. Essential electric, water, and other services with exceptional customer value and quality. It's Groton City Utilities.
Well, now we are actually getting to the point, Casey, where Coach Morgan has to think about at what time on the clock do we have to foul. And if you know who you want to foul, then the time is now. I think the time is right now if you've identified somebody on the court that you want to foul.
You know, Tally Williams has been tough. She gets to the basket. She knows how to finish, and that's a huge basket for Ledyard. It allows them to get back and set up some pressure. Sports Doctor and I have this debate all the time, and I always know that I'm right. But having you say what you just said I'm going to go to that because I'm a big believer in making it happen earlier because I think it allows for more time to know what the next situation is going to be. Once you let the clock go down to 15 seconds, now you're really limited to what your options are. Foul now and make them shoot those two, and you'll know, do I need a three-pointer? Can I go for a bucket? What do I need to do? Sports Doctor like to try to get that steal. I like to foul right away.
Now you have to.
Novak wide open. They're going to have to come out and foul her, and they do.
Right.
And so 2 free throws by the freshman Liz Glover got them to a 4-point lead. And now freshman Caitlin Novak goes to the line, and she'll shoot 2. That foul is on Curvin. That's her 5th. So now Curvin and Augman both out of the game for Ledyard. Novak has 2, and she calmly buries the first one.
Incredible.
To the girl I called Giggles von Squeakenhofer as a middle infielder when she was 7 years old. Watching her knock down a free throw. And then Glover comes in, ties it up, and the possession arrow is Bacon. The freshman stepping up for the Bobcats. Glover and Novak have been special tonight, and Bacon on the precipice of a big win on the road.
You get a quick foul here, though. You still got a chance. Got to get a quick one.
Up top it goes. 9 seconds. They foul Lutzy. Now, if she can make both, that's going to be a real challenge, right? 5-point lead is huge. If she makes one, it virtually ensures, I don't want to say overtime, but ensures that you're not going to lose this thing in regulation. It's a lot to ask for Ledyard in 9 seconds to hit a three-pointer, foul, hit a three-pointer. It's a lot to ask.
Yeah, free throw box out is just one of the things that drives coaches crazy, and just a great job.
First one no good from Lutzy. She's got one more.
Big free throw here, Casey, as we know. 1 versus 2 possessions.
One more for Lutzy. That one gets knocked down. It's now a 3-possession game, if you will. They're a full. So 2-possession game, 4-point lead.
Their third timeout.
Timeout taken with 9 seconds remaining. So now you're Ledyard, you're down 4. You still have options. Do you go for 2 and then foul?
Yeah, I personally, with the athleticism they have, try to drive the lane quick, get something up. Maybe you get an and one. And then you got to have the press ready to go right on. So right now he's drawing up something for whatever he wants on offense, and then the 2 scenarios. If it's a basket, right into the press. If it's a miss, immediate foul.
So I completely agree. I'm going hard to the basket because if I'm Bacon, I'm not fouling anybody either. I'm not gonna give you the basket, but I'm certainly not gonna do anything but straight vertical. So you have a chance. The other thing to take away is that Bacon could, under the right circumstance, foul away and put them at the line. If someone beats somebody, you could see that as well. Rather than give up the easy basket, we'll see how they're going to approach it. They're going to put a little pressure on. They put a little full court in the corner. It goes. Williams, that's a lot of wasted time. Long three, buried.
Timeout.
But not enough. Did the timeout come? We're going to have to sort this out. The officials are talking. Tally Williams buried an improbable three. The Bacon girls are celebrating, but I think they're going to put time on the clock. What are we going to find out here? Nope, no timeout in time. They're saying, wait a minute. Coach Morgan saying, I call the timeout. They're sorting things out. Here's the thing. How much time are they going to put on the clock? All Bacon has to do is inbound it, right? 1 second left.
Number one, what an incredible shot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tally Williams.
Yeah, two girls draped over her, and she shot it one-handed like a shot put. I mean, but yeah, I don't know how, without the benefit of replay, that they know how much time is on the clock.
If there's 1 second on the clock, by the way, this is what I do. I put Caitlin Novak, or the best, who I know is a shortstop and can throw the ball, and I say, throw it as far as you can. If someone wants to catch it and make a three-quarter of the shot, I'll take it. But what I don't want is that inbound pass where you could get a steal and a layup to lose this game.
Yeah, you just can't let that ball go straight out of bounds, because then the ball comes right back to the baseline for a below-the-basket inbounds play for Ledyard. So if you're going to throw it the length of the court, somebody has to touch it.
So they're going to put 1 second on the clock. I would put Nud at the right at the other side of half court at the where the volleyball line is, and I would say to my guard, throw it as just in the middle of the floor, and let him go up and try to catch it. So Nud's going to inbound,
smart,
and throw the there you go, and like the floor, take it away.
Just keep it in. She's got to keep it inbounds.
1 second remaining. She inbounds it, and there's going to be a foul, intentional foul, hard foul. But it's not going to matter because they're going to have either free throws or the game's going to be over. So let's see what Coach Dan Henderson is sorting things out with Coach Shea.
Somebody's got to get, the assistant coach has got to get Coach Shea away from the officials right now, because the only way Bacon could lose is if he gets teed up. So that would have been my job when I was an assistant. That would have been Coach Murphy's job last year. Just get away from the officials.
So they're going to say intentional foul.
That's it.
And that's going to be the ball game. So it's going to be a 56-55 Bacon Academy win. Marissa Nudd leading the way. And we're going to come back in a moment. We're going to have the Waterford Dental Health player of the game along with Coach John Shea. In a moment, we'll be right back after this message.
At The Day, our journalists are in your community, talking with business owners, attending town meetings, analyzing data, talking to government leaders, reporting on the issues that matter most to you. Since 1881, we have been serving our community and will continue to do so 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Never miss a day of news. Enjoy convenient home delivery right to your doorstep, 7 days a week. Subscribe at theday.com/membership.
Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. At Waterford Dental Health, we provide solutions to all of your dental needs. Your smile is our top priority. Visit us today at waterforddentalhealth.com and by Core Plus Credit Union. Love the home you're in? Well, borrow based on the finished value of your home before your renovations begin. Apply today at coreplus.org. The Day is committed to giving our readers the best in sports coverage. Our staff dedicates itself to the in-depth stories, photos, columns, and video content our readers know and trust. Subscribe today to receive full access to all our coverage. theday.com/subscribe.
while we're waiting here, Coach Giusti, thanks for coming out and joining us. Really appreciate it. Director Peter Huapi here filling in while we get Casey ready. Oh, and it appears we are ready, so we are going to throw down to Casey O'Neill. Go ahead.
You don't have to go anywhere. We're here, head coach John Shea, and it was everything as advertised, an exciting, contentious game. Ledyard never giving up. You had 2 starters out. You're on the road. You're playing freshmen. You guys came through in the second half. What did you learn about your team today?
They just got a lot of heart, you know. They're always practice well, but like in a game like this, just to see them play so hard and have some confidence. We had a tough game at Ram, and this is a good bounce back. So I'm really blessed to have kids that, you know, play so hard and are come through like they've had this year. It's been a great year with them so far.
Down the stretch, big minutes from Liz Glover, Caitlin Novak, 2 freshmen, big free throws, big rebound. Coming into this game, I know you had to wonder, what does it mean for freshmen to get these kinds of minutes as you guys are heading down the stretch?
It's huge. It's just going to make us a little deeper team, and we're going to need that for a state tournament and the ECC tournament, so we'll have a deeper rotation. And when we get everybody back, we got good news that Mancuso could be back in a week, so that was really good.
That is huge news. Other big news tonight, 29 points, 14 rebounds from the Waterford Dental Health Player of the game, Marissa Nudd. When you needed her to be the player, she stepped up. Talk a little bit about her performance tonight.
Well, she's been doing that all year for us, so that's just the typical game for her, really. You know, it was a great game, maybe not typical, but she's had a lot of games like that. So she has a real heart of a champion, and she just goes at it really hard. Sometimes she's the only worst enemy because she wants it so bad. She wants the team to succeed. She gets a little riled up, and she goes too hard. But I'd rather have a player like that than, you know, someone that doesn't put everything into it. She gives you 100% and some every game.
Well, still undefeated in the league, and so she is the Waterford Dental Health Player of the game. Marissa Nudd of Bacon tied your career high, 29 points, 14 rebounds. Talk about what you knew going into this game, knowing you had some people out. What was your mentality as a player coming into this game?
So, yeah, I knew that we had 2 of our starters out who obviously help us a lot every game, but whoever Novak, Liz, and R, they all stepped up perfectly just like we needed them to. We knew that we would need 100%. We couldn't let them get on leads, and that's what we did. We all gave 100% every single time we were out there, and we all played a great game. Everybody contributed today. It was great.
So down the stretch, you got foul trouble. You got people coming out of the game. It got a little bit tight. You're demanding the basketball. What does it feel like to step up? You had your career high, but talk about taking over a basketball game down the stretch.
I mean, I think everybody contributed to it. I was down low asking for the ball, but everybody had to look to get it into there. Val had great passes down low. Everybody else got open when I was, when people were on me. So I think everybody did a great job today.
Liz Glover gets a huge rebound, goes to the line, makes 2 big free throws. No one was more excited after she made the first one than you. You ran over to congratulate her. Talk about what you felt. You were there yourself as a freshman. Talk about that moment for the freshman.
I mean, it's great. It's a feeling she'll probably never experience something like that again. I mean, she's a freshman. She comes in here knowing she's going to get a lot of minutes, but she really stepped up today, and this is something that she's been working on all season. I know she's been working on her free throws. Like, I've shot with her before. It's something that she has really wanted to improve on, and to come to a game like this and hit 2 huge free throws, I mean, that must just be amazing for her.
Well, a huge win tonight. She's the Waterford Dental Health Player of the game, Marissa Nudd of Bacon Academy, still undefeated in the league as we head down the stretch. Congratulations and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Absolutely. An exciting one here at Ledyard High School. Bacon Academy holds on, stays undefeated. It was a pleasure. The coach, Chris Giusti, by my side. For Peter Huapi, Mike DeMoro, the Juice, and the rest of the crew, good night, everybody.